everyone. In this video, I'll talk about one of the most efficient ways of improving English pronunciation. Now, I've made many videos in the past that talk about sounds, then syllables, and intonation, which help us sound better. However, the practical aspect of this is that if you're a non-native speaker or if English is not your first language, then it's very hard to pronounce every word correctly, right? Whichever is your first language, it's easier to pronounce words of that language, and I think it's okay. So don't ever think that, okay, if I don't know the pronunciation of a certain word, then maybe I need to learn more. I don't panic about it. So today I'll tell you what really you should be doing whenever you feel that, okay, you don't know the pronunciation of a certain word. So I'll give you 2 website links which are given in the description, and I'll talk about that I personally used to use when I was a voice and accent trainer, and I still use it till date because these are dictionaries. Okay, so there are 2 dictionaries I would suggest. Number 1, I would say use Merriam-Webster. The link is merriam-webster.com. And the other one I would suggest you use the Cambridge Online Dictionary. So I always use the online version. I just put the link on my laptop. Whenever there's a confusion about any word, I check it in both the dictionaries. So in these dictionaries, what you will see is that you will also be able to hear the pronunciation. Then they also break the word into different syllables, and then there are like pronunciation symbols attached. Okay, and then there's they also tell you which is the stressed part of the word. So we'll use a very simple word. So what you do is just log into both these websites. I'll give you a simple word, and while I'm explaining how to understand how to pronounce this word, you also do the same on your laptop or your phone, and then see if you're able to understand how to go about learning the pronunciation of a word in case there's no YouTube video or there's no one to tell you what to do. So this is going to make you more independent. And I used to always tell all my trainees, even when I was a voice and accent trainer, that be more independent, because even if you want to ask me, I'm okay to explain it to you. However, when you're actually going to perform your job, what will you do then? Or let's say if there's a confusion, or you're talking to your friends and there's a confusion about the pronunciation of a certain word, what do? So you go check the dictionary. We are very used to just simply putting it on YouTube, and then we'll hear a couple of YouTubers and we'll be like, see, this is said like this, this is said like this. I would say the first step should be to check the dictionary, and if you're not very clear after what the dictionary has explained to you, then you go and check a couple of YouTube videos. So even if you're looking at my video, I always try, if I'm giving the pronunciation of a word, I double check it by using these 2 dictionaries. So today I want you to do this yourself with me, and I'm going to discuss the pronunciation of more complex words using the same technique in the future. So today let's take a very, very simple word. It's picture. Okay, because I've heard there are a lot of people say picture or picture. So this is like one of the words I felt we can correct, and it's simple. That's why I've picked it up as an example. So let's put the word picture in both the websites. So I'm putting it on Merriam-Webster and on Cambridge right now. I would request that you do the same. Okay. So if you look at Merriam-Webster, okay, in that it'll also tell you, okay, if you go to the website, it'll tell you when it's used as a noun and when it's used as a verb, as a transitive verb actually. So anyway, let's talk about pronunciation today. You can actually really understand the meaning, the grammar, how to use it in a sentence when you use these dictionaries, But for now, how do I analyze the pronunciation of the word picture? So if you see in Merriam-Webster, it says P and then IK. Now that IK symbol is ick, so pick. And then chur is, then you'll see CH, and then there's a little, E, which is of course inverted, or it's some kind of symbol, and then there's an R. Now how I know that symbol is called the sound is because I have been using these dictionaries for a very, very long time. But I will not recommend that you go ahead and try to understand these symbols. You can simply just hear the sounds and you will know that, okay, this particular symbol means this sound. For example, in the word picture, the first that I means I sound, and so it's pronounced as pick. So I have to pronounce every part correctly for me to say the word correctly. So pick. And then the second part is ch, so that's ch sound, and then the symbol is the sound, and then there's an r. Now this is an American way, so they will roll the r more, so it goes like picture. Let me hear it as well.
Picture.
Picture. And if you notice, so these are the symbols and the sounds. There's also a little dash on the part pick. That means that's your stressed syllable, stressed part of the word. So you will stress that, as in you will put more emphasis on that. So you will say picture. You will not say picture, picture or picture. It's picture, picture. So if you just hear the sound also and you pronounce it 5 times, you'll remember and your pronunciation will improve. And I'm using a shorter word here because it's very important for us to understand that it is not just about the correct pronunciation. It's also about pronouncing every sound in that word correctly. So if I have to actually say it, learn it like the American way, then it would be picture.
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 Picture. Now this is Merriam-Webster. Same technique you can use on Cambridge Dictionary as well. So if you look at the first one, that's UK pronunciation. Let's see.
Picture.
Picture. Picture. Because the R is not pronounced too much. It's the UK way of saying it. So picture.
Picture.
Picture. And then here the US way is given as
Picture.
picture. So, there will be slight differences because even within a country, people have different accents. Like even within India, when we are speaking in Hindi or any other language, we have a different way of saying things. So similarly in the US and the UK, there are also different types of accents. Now, rather than getting confused, you just remember what the dictionary is recommending and then you try and say it that way. It's the simplest and the most efficient way to remember. And if, let's say, by any chance that you feel that, okay, I still want to learn more from someone else, then you go ahead and watch a couple of YouTube videos. So that way you'll be sure of what different people are saying about the pronunciation of this word. Okay, one more thing I wanted to tell you was that sometimes you'll notice that in Merriam-Webster and then in the Cambridge Dictionary, the symbols might differ. So don't stress out about that because sometimes there's just a different way of writing the symbol or sometimes the sounds are also different. For example, a word like harassment and harassment are said in 2 different ways in the UK or the US. So in that case, you'll see that the symbols are different. Or if picture is said correctly, but sometimes there might be differences. So don't get into that. Just hear the pronunciation. Try to understand the symbols as much. Now you'll say, why Neetu? Why is, if the sound is correct, then is the same? Then why should there be a difference in symbol? Luckily in this word there isn't any difference in the symbols. There's only a minor difference on Cambridge where in the UK way of pronouncing it, they've put a very a short form of the R on top because they know that's not a rolled R. And if you notice in the US way of pronouncing it, they have not really put an R. But if you go to Merriam-Webster puts the R. So they just have their own ways of explaining it. It's like 2 people teaching 2 different things. How you can totally understand is simply by hearing it, recognizing the symbols and practicing it 5 or 10 times to make it less complicated. And I would also say that avoid spending more than, let's say, 10 minutes on it, because if you want to really improve your fluency and really improve your pronunciation, then you have to move on to different words as well, right? So in a day you can decide that, okay, today I want to learn the pronunciation of 5 words and I'm going to put it in the dictionary and just pronounce it. So if you do this every day for yourself for, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes, or when you're, let's say, traveling, like you're in the cab, you have some time. So give yourself some time and eventually you will see that you're able to, I'm not even saying speak in an accent, but your pronunciation and your fluency, like you'll sound more neutral. Like even when I'm talking, unless I'm talking to an American, I would not really go about using all the sounds, because I know when I talk to people in India, they don't need to hear, these sounds. But I still sound more neutral, only because I'm so used to this particular technique. But even after this, if sometimes I have further questions, I would go and actually, figure out what other people are saying as well. But my main way to check the pronunciation is, by checking both these dictionaries. So please, I put the links. Now you can go and explore as many words you like. Now, if I wanted, I could have simply just taught you the words, but I want you to become more efficient, more independent. And at the same time, if you want to discuss complicated words, do write to me. Just put that in the comment that, okay, Neetu, can we please discuss the pronunciation of this word? And I will go ahead and figure out, okay, what the pronunciation is and how I can explain it in the best way. So yeah, today this is all about pronunciation. And if you somebody also said make a video on MTI. So this is one of the most efficient techniques that when we say MTI means mother tongue influence. So this is the best way to improve it. Now, while you're watching an English movie, if you come across a word, okay, that you feel you're able to understand, but you can't really pronounce it, so again put that in the dictionary and you will be able to pronounce it. This is the best way to break a word, into different parts, and then learn each part and then pronounce your stressed syllable correctly. If you want to know more about sounds and syllables and how to practice, I have made a lot of videos on your consonant sounds, vowel sounds in the past. Please watch that and still put specific comments for me so that I understand what more I can teach you. So yeah, on this note, you guys take care, keep learning, keep enjoying yourself, and find more efficient ways of learning English so that you can save time and enjoy life at the same time. Take care, bye bye.